Now, the first round of the French presidential elections is now just 4 months away. Much still unknown at the moment, of course, including whether the president himself will actually seek re-election. But on the French left, really there's just one question at the moment, and that's, can it unite and be a credible force against the centre and the right? Well, let's ask Ariane Bogain. She's a senior lecturer in French and politics at Northumbria University in the United Kingdom. Thanks very much for your time today on the programme. First of all, can I ask you simply, how divided do you think the French left is in 2022?
Oh, it's totally divided, and it's currently in a dire situation. It's never been that weak overall. The overall left has never been that weak in the polls. There are 6 candidates. No one is above 10%. The candidate of the former dominating force in the French left, the Socialist Party, is languishing at the bottom on 4%. After 3 months of pre-campaign, no one has managed to create any momentum, has managed to gain any traction. They have a disastrous image because all we talk about is their division, whether the left is going to survive, and we don't talk about their program or their proposals. So it is in a really dire situation, and right now, their chance of reaching the second round is very, very unlikely. It's still not impossible because the official campaign hasn't started, but it looks very, very dicey. So the situation is pretty dire.
The next obvious question, I suppose, is why do you think that is? I mean, do you chart this back to an individual failing by a party or a politician, or is this indicative of a bigger sort of systemic problem and a lack of faith with traditional parties?
I think really the problem the problem on the left comes from the collapse of the Socialist Party. Now, the Socialist Party was very strong and strong enough on its own to reach the second round of previous elections, and it didn't matter how many other candidates from the left we had. But it has collapsed, and the collapse is in 2017 when the candidate got 6%. But this has a long history, and we have to go back to 2002 when the former socialist prime minister at the time failed to reach the second round and was beaten to it by Le Pen, which was a huge shock. Now, at this time, there should have been an autopsy. There should have been, soul searching. But it was brushed under the carpet, and that came back to haunt them later on. Then we had the Hollande presidency that accelerated the decline of the Socialist Party, mainly because of all the divisions, internal divisions over the direction of travel, over the ideology, over policy, because of broken promises, because of policies that were very right-wing, like the labor law or the proposal to strip the nationality of suspected terrorism. It ended with Hollande not being able to represent himself, with the humiliating score of the then candidate for the Socialist Party in 2017. And even in opposition, the party has not tried to understand what went wrong. So at the minute, what does the Socialist Party represent? We don't really know. So the problem of the left is really the collapse of this main party, because, the other parties don't really matter. The problem is the Socialist Party.
And briefly, if you can, just finally, there's been lots of excitement on the left about this one possible candidate, Christiane Taubira. Tell us a bit about who she is, and do you think that she might be able to unite what's clearly a very divided left?
Well, I mean, she is a bit of an icon from the left. She was a minister under Hollande. She's the one who put forward the same-sex marriage. So she is an icon. But, in the polls, she's at 2%, I think, in the latest poll. And the other candidates do not want, to unite behind one single candidate. So, yes, she might put a hat into the ring, but it's just going to create yet another candidate. At the minute, Hidalgo, the socialist candidate, tried to suggest a primary. It failed miserably. No one wants to do it. So I don't see how they can unite. And even if they do, with whom and with which program? because there are lots of differences within, between the different parties. So I don't see it happening. I might be wrong, but I don't see it happening, and I don't see it happening around Taubira.
Ariane Bogain, unfortunately we're out of time, but thanks very much indeed for your analysis. Clearly many questions remain unanswered. It's obviously an issue we'll be talking about a lot in the next few months here on France 24.